I mean, as you said, the finish at the end was borderline sublime, wasn't it? So, but I mean, do you know something? He's such a nice big fella, and see, it's even just the fact that he got to put the armband on for 10 minutes. I think it tells you a story of how he's thought about internally, if not externally.
I mean, I can only go in the small snippets of dealings we have with them, usually in press conferences or in mix zones, and this is a guy that, for all the stick he takes, and he's had some pretty, harsh moments. I mean, when you think about Aberdeen here in midweek, where there's not many, but there was a flutter of boos in there as he comes on. He's not even kicked a ball yet, and there's some guys ready to boo him off the park already. But every time we speak to him, whether it be after a bad miss, whether it be after a bad defeat, he always fronts up. He comes in, he explains away, shakes you in the hand, shakes you by the hand, looks you in the eye. I mean, I wrote that in my match report. As bad as that miss was today, you never really get a sense that it affects him much. No. I mean, he's got this remarkable ironclad sort of character or mindset about him. And I suppose, given he's clearly got limitations to his game, I don't suppose he makes it this far without having that kind of mindset, because he's not the greatest footballer in the world, but I think it's that ability just to shrug it off and go again that allows him to sort of go again and keep looking for the chances, and eventually he gets them and he gets himself his hat-trick today. So yeah, a likeable big guy, but whether listen, this is a club with high demands, and I think there are a lot of fans that would quite happily see the back of him. As much as he gets a hat-trick today and he scored a lot of goals in his time here, but I think a lot of people will feel he should have had a lot more. Yeah. And that's the frustration with him.
That's the problem. But then, just his luck, isn't it? He gets a hat-trick, he gets to wear the armband, but he still didn't even win the Man of the Match award from the sponsor. Was it Nsiala got it from the fans?
I think so. I gave it to him. He's record sportsman of the match, if that's any consolation to him. But
big man.
Exactly, and that's the one that counts, as we all know, Keith. So, no, I mean, there was some promising signs. Listen, I think the first half today was, they had 80% possession. They had numerous chances. They've hit the woodwork twice in the first half, but you're still thinking
it's a bit laboured still.
No, they get in at half time, just grateful to be ahead after that incredible chance that Scott Barber had at 1-0. We've just been speaking to him and his manager there, and
how is he?
They knew. Listen, I don't think they came here with any great hopes of
I know, but he's got to take that chance.
Yeah, and listen, I think he was already saying himself that he was tired. This is a team that haven't played since December the 28th. They're part-time, they're training twice a week. It's like a fantastic opportunity, and his manager certainly never had any criticism of him. He was just entirely proud of the way his players performed today, and rightly so, because they were terrific. As I say, this is a team for the fifth tier. No one gave them a hope in hell. I mean, like they lost 5-0 back in September to the Rangers B team. So the fact that they managed to keep the first team to the same score, it's credit to them. But yeah, this was it was a day out for them, wasn't it? I mean, it was just an incredible opportunity, incredible experience. They brought, something like 1,500, 1,800 in that corner over behind me there. What a racket they made, and brilliant day out for them. And you see them now; they're all walking about downstairs. They've all got their jerseys. They're all getting their pictures taken. It's as much as it was a big defeat, Rangers did what they had to do, but Fraserburgh can hold their heads high. They were terrific, absolutely terrific.
Give me your thoughts, Andy, while I've got you on Nsiala. I said the other night, what impresses me about this young boy is the way that he passes the ball. It's really crisp, his distribution's excellent, it's sharp, it's, and he's also got a range, he's got diagonals as well.
Yeah, fizzed into, you see the passes always seem to be ahead of the player so they can run onto it. Listen, I saw him a few times in pre-season. I saw him when we went to Venlo and they played a bounce game. I think it was against Standard Liège, and it was okay in that day. Then they went to Birmingham later on in pre-season, and he looked very raw that night. And I thought, this is a guy that isn't going to be troubling a team sheet anytime soon. And to be fair, Philippe Clement has spoken about that and said these guys got a lot to learn. He's got great raw attributes, they just need to be moulded. And also, I think there's been a lot said about Rangers recruitment and the way that they've went about signings over the summer, but you can see that they are starting to mould some of these guys in into something. Igamani at the start of the season was nowhere near a starting 11. Now he's their best player, you would argue. Yefte came in again, another one that looked raw, but they've polished him up, and he's starting to show signs that he can be a real asset. And Nsiala as well. I mean, again, listen, you've got to say, in terms of being tested, yeah, he had a couple of shaky moments at Dundee, but that's always to be expected. His first ever professional start at any level, first team football, came through that. Obviously, St Johnstone bottom of the league, not going to be overly troubled. An Aberdeen team that are forms just vanished again, not overly troubled. And then Fraserburgh from the Highland League, yeah, there's things to be encouraged about, but I think Clement's right. He wants them to keep his feet in the ground. I think he wants the supporters to just give him time and not rush to judgments in terms of when they're slaughtering players as they have done with some of these guys. Also, when they're playing well, let's not get too high with them, because we've yet to see his full potential, and he's yet to be properly tested. Listen, there's every chance he might have to start at Old Trafford on Thursday night. That'll be his biggest test yet, and we'll see how he copes with that one. But listen, there's things and signs to be encouraged with him, but as I say, there's bigger tests to come.
Andy Newport there. Let me throw a couple of comments at you, Keith, before we move on from Rangers. James Duffy, and Dessers will now forever be known as the Hammer of Fraserburgh. QDL, well done to Big Dessers, captain and hat-trick, credit where it's due. And this one here from Rangers, easy, okay. I actually think we'll get a decent fee for Dessers. Someone will take a punt on him because his numbers are good. If we can get 3 million, we've got to take it. I would still go for Shankland, which is quite interesting. I mean, he is a weird player, Dessers, in the sense that, I mean, look, even today, as a microcosm of his Rangers career, misses that gilt-edged chance, somehow scores a hat-trick, and he's on 16 goals for the season.
Yeah. As Andy said there, he's back to Rangers' top scorer for the season. But yeah, I genuinely feel a bit sorry for him, because I genuinely think he's just a nice big fella. He always got a smile on his face. He's come through. I mean, he has had a lot of stick from people like myself, and certainly from large sections of the Rangers support. But he does keep on coming back for more, doesn't he? And he's just an incredibly frustrating striker, because, as Andy said himself there, he kind of makes the easy things look difficult.
Yeah.
And then he can somehow make the impossible seem fairly doable. Like he's finished there for his hat-trick goal today. But I think he's been part of the problems for Rangers and for Philip Clement, because when he was getting that extended run, when he was the go-to man, moves were breaking down. Your centre forward sets the pace for how your team goes about its business. And Dessers, the ball was sort of bouncing off him. He doesn't link particularly well. He'll never threaten to get over somebody or get round somebody's shoulder and play on the back, get through, because he's not blessed with pace. His control can be questionable at times. But yeah, do you know what? It does weigh in. He does chip in with goals, but I think that anybody that's watched Rangers over that prolonged period of time will tell you he has scored a decent amount of goals, but he should have probably had double.
Yeah.
And that's Cyriel Dessers in a nutshell. And it's why Rangers have improved with Eagleman kind of taking over the number 9 responsibilities.
If you were in Philip Clement's shoes, Keith, this month, say you got an offer 2.5-3 million, would you sell him?
Again, as Andy was saying there, it is a problem for Rangers because, fine, I get it, take the money and run, and I think a lot of people would be of that opinion. But if you don't have anybody to come in, what happens if Eagleman breaks down? What happens if he gets an injury? You don't really then have a central striker. You've got Danilo, I guess, but Danilo, he's injured again, isn't he? And this is some sort of feels par for the course. So, look, I would take the money for Dessers if it's available, if it's a decent amount. Try and claw as much back as possible. Yes, I would be looking to do that, but I don't know if you can do that in January unless you've got somebody ready to come in that you believe will be able to contribute and is first team ready. I don't think you can have another one what it has done with Igaman and with Nsiala, kind of young kids that are brought and need 3-4 months to get up to speed, to get ready to be involved in the first team. They can't have that in January. If they're going to sell Dessers, they need to have an option to bring in. I'm again, as is ever the case with Rangers financially, you wonder what sort of situation they're in order to do that. I think the simplest solution now with Dessers is to keep him probably until the summer, and then look to move things around at that point.
Yeah.